Welcome to episode 3 of Unreal Adventure 2024 presented by Skyjacker Suspensions. It's one of those UA days where we get to roll straight out of camp and in no time put the T-case in low range. And since we're coming right back to the same campground this evening, we can leave all our gear here and run the trails unloaded. These New Mexico rock crawl trails are packed with tight squeezes, steep ledges, and huge rock obstacles, so every advantage we can take is needed. Because these trails will put the sheet metal in jeopardy and the mechanical parts to the test. For day 3 of UA, off-roading is on the menu and it starts now.
It was a long road day to get here, but the group woke up at the Caballo Lake State Park outside of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. This is a really nice place and features a very nice group campsite, showers, and even flushing porcelain facilities.
Go to bed early, kids.
Morning, Ryan. How you doing?
Good. How's last night?
Last night was great. We got in, made quick dinner, hung around, talked. Weather was perfect. Perfect camping weather. Raccoons were our alarm clock, woke us up digging in the trash around 4 a.m.
Took a shower, wore flip-flops, and then I was walking around camp talking, and I felt like I stepped on a tack or something, went to brush it off, and it just got getting worse and worse. I'm like a bee sting. So I turned on a flashlight, looked around, there was ants crawling all over the ground, everywhere. And apparently like fire ants or something, because they're hurt. And I hurt until about 3 in the morning. I finally fell asleep, but yeah.
You're making this morning like sausage, egg, and cheese burritos. One spicy with chorizo and one without.
Kind of cool anodized dash knob. I don't know what we're gonna use it for, but I think we'll have to put it in Corey's Scout somewhere.
Yeah, somebody's saying shiny object. Oh man, I like that.
Looks like a 1024 thread, but I put that somewhere.
Yeah, we can put this on something. That could be my new pole knob for the hood.
Oh yeah. Easy access. Red, because the engine bay is always red hot.
Yeah, and red, so I can find.
Driver's meeting! Yeah, that's total payway, isn't it? Yeah.
Have you ever thought about singing opera?
Yes, I have.
All right, everybody, welcome to UA Day 3. Unreal Adventure, presented by Skyjacker Suspensions. Day 3 starts now. How about yesterday's road day? We weren't joking about the road days being the toughest, were we? Yeah, a little attrition. We had some problem solving. Gladly, everyone got their stuff together. We're all here as a group. There's no stragglers out there making repairs, so good on everyone for getting their stuff done. Just wanted to give a nod of appreciation to another sponsor this morning, Quigley, the official custom drive shaft of UA. Where's Tiger? Tiger, Renee, Dave, and Chelsea. And with that, Trent.
What we are going to experience today is actually kind of a lot like the first trail day. The trails themselves are going to be a little bit shorter, but no less intense or anything like that. So unfortunately, Greg had to peel off with the group, but he managed to catch back up, got all his issues resolved, hopefully. So that's it, everybody. Thanks, guys.
Dude, Dave, what are you doing?
They totally don't have a very good system for storage. Everybody on UA comes here and they have their act together, and I'm always like, give me 6 more bungees and it won't fall out. All right, let's roll. Come on, cameraman. None of this happens without a lot of planning and thought. The ribs and the burritos go behind the seat with the chicken wings. The dry goods go on the dash. Let's roll. Buckle up.
Oh, I think you a scammer.
So if you've been
Your marketplace? What marketplace is that? Facebook?
Go ahead and drop towards the back.
Is this Facebook Marketplace? Why you tell me to shut up? It's Facebook
We do have a
Marketplace.
couple guys that have requested.
Who was that?
Some foreign scammer couldn't speak English, it popped up healthcare, trying to marketplace. It's just a scam.
Although close to the campground as the crow flies, we spend 10 minutes on Interstate 25, traveling over the Rio Grande and exiting onto Lost Hills Dirt Road to our air-down spot at the trailhead. Longtime friend and off-road colleague Brian Sumner met us in camp the night before and will be our trail guide for the day. Brian is a local New Mexico native and is intimately familiar with most trail systems in the Southwest, particularly this trail system.
This is actually my first UA I've ever been to, but I did do a pre-UA. I drove Harry Wagner's truck up to Alaska in 2019 when they did that one, but never officially been on a UA trip, so I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun. I know a lot of these guys from the magazine. I used to freelance for Peterson's and Four Wheeler. And yeah, this is my backyard. It's a lot of fun down here. There's a big trail system here. The Chili Challenge runs on some of these trails, and it should be a great day of wheeling.
Proper way to air down for a redneck. Full of Alcim, tip out.
Now it's about 70 miles north of Las Cruces, which was the second stop on the original UA. So why the change? Well, frankly, politics. Much of the original trail system in Las Cruces is now within a national monument, declared so during the Obama administration. While some of the trails there are technically still open, to say the permitting process for a group to visit nowadays is challenging would be being overly generous. So we did just like the local Las Cruces 4-wheel drive club and moved north, out of the monument and to some equally cool trails that they've since developed. We're headed to Brandon's Boulders, one of the many trails in a pretty extensive trail system for this area. Now, even though this isn't OG Las Cruces, the terrain is very similar and offers much of the same classic rock crawling that New Mexico has to offer. Big, gnarly waterfalls, unforgiving technical rock sections, and a whole lot more. Though this area is well developed thanks to the efforts of the local 4-wheel drive clubs, its location is pretty far from a major population center, and thus, it means this area isn't as well worn in as a lot of other places. So there are a lot of unfilled holes and other gotchas that make it feel more like a fresh trail.
This is some of my favorite kind of rock crawling. I love coming down here to the Southwest for this stuff. I have like nothing like this up in the Pacific Northwest, so this is sort of my outlet. Like once a year I try to get down here. And this year we're doing it on UA. It's rad.
Well, looks like we're down here in another hole that's got zero wind and it's 100 degrees, so it's a perfect day.
Dude, this is pretty gnarly. Definitely very technical drive-in. When you do get high centered, the traction underneath your tires is just not there. It's just loose rock, so you start digging immediately. So you don't want to do that too much. Otherwise, you're just gonna high center even harder. So very technical driving today so far. Pretty gnarly trail. Love it.
Rather be on the trail than on the road. Yeah, a lot of road issues for us, but I think the fans are good now finally, but we'll have a intermittent power loss. I don't know. I pull over, kill it for 3 minutes, then it seems good for a while after that. So not sure what that is. Now we're thinking maybe throttle body or a drive-by-wire pedal. It's all drive-by tires, so.
other than picking the line and keeping your tires on the rock, you got to worry about the edges of the rocks on your sidewall. So as Vern was saying, some of the composite of the rock here is very sharp, and sidewalls are very weak compared to the tread. Big boulders, probably a waterfall or two up here.
Speaking of waterfalls, we've arrived at the first one on Brandon's Boulders, and it doesn't disappoint.
You got a hub that's engaging, disengaging, but Brandon Carroll back there to the rescue. We got some busted knuckle slugs to put in there, so as soon as we get up here, we'll lock them in.
This is one of my favorite trails, real rocky. And this is one of the harder spots on this trail, just this little waterfall that'll catch your under frame and your differentials. But Vern's got it handled, as you can see.
I'm gonna get a tug from Dave, get this off here, and then I'm gonna do better. It's all about the short wins. It's not about the 10-year goal, 20-year. Focus on the little things, all the big pieces will just fall right into place, right? That's what I keep being told anyway.
So when we were winching, my terminal came loose and the thing shut off and Jeep truck thing shut down. It's what happens when you buy like a used rig, you know.
Sometimes you can blame everything on the previous owner.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't muster up the $200 for a new AGM battery because this one was trash. So I went to the battery store and he's like, "Oh, we do these refurbished ones that we sell at all the used car lots."
That's what I need.
That's what I need.
Refurbished or just used?
Yeah, but it's clean. It was clean, and it had a charge.
Perfect.
It was $45.
Do you want to see if we have some power?
Yeah, that's back in action.
Yeah, the unforgiving.
Just touch on me.
So how many years have you been doing this now?
25.
Every single one?
Trent and I went on the first one. We were invited, and we really didn't know anything. Cole just said, "I'm going on a trip. Will you follow me?" I said, "Sure." And he goes, "No trailers." I said, "If you can do it, I can do it." and we knew nothing. We didn't know the cities. We didn't know where we just followed them for 7 days.
I'm pulling a 9,000-pound van and a 6,000-pound truck up this hill.
Transfer gauge crossed under this hit a rock wall, and that was it. We thought we were all the way up and over, and bam. Just how it is. A lot of rock ledges and sharp things to catch you. It's a good day. We got off it. These guys were all top-notch in their road builders.
That'll be $10. Use our highway.
Hard driving, all you got. All you got, all you got. Straighten up. Okay, well, you going forward. Perfect.
That's fun.
Do you drive this quite a bit too?
No, I have my own. It's the same like 1-ton Jeep Cherokee XJ, the same color, but it's like a little bit less beat up. So.
Tiger, did we bust the tail shaft?
Well, we're dealing with, got caught on a rock on a cross member, and apparently did a little more than that. It caught the transfer case, put a little hole in the transfer case. So Chris Durham's let's silicone it. Well, first we sprayed it off brake clean. We siliconed it and we put Gorilla Tape over it. And I see the exhaust should move back a little, might have a little bit of an exhaust leak. Nothing we can't fix, we're good. It's still moving.
Mike Day's crazy cool BMW X5 has been one of the most interesting rigs we've ever invited on UA. It's been an audience favorite since we announced it, with everybody wondering how Mike created it and how it works off-road. So far, Mike and Machine are doing exceptionally well, and we're excited to hear more about this unusual build.
The idea started a long time ago. Back in the day, I had like a kind of really clapped out 4Runner I was doing some wheeling with, and then one of these came up and I was like, man, it'd be pretty cool to swap all my stuff under it. It didn't work out then, but a couple years later, I've had the opportunity to build this thing. I spent a bunch of time in the background. I designed parts, you know, automotive-wise, so I had the opportunity to 3D scan this thing, kind of designed a bunch of parts, make sure the geometry worked out the way I thought it would work well. And yeah, I threw a bunch of parts at it. Super Duty axles, DO5 Plus stuff, front and rear, LS, 6L80 behind it, 203, 205 doubler from Offroad Design. So it's working pretty well. You know, I'm having a blast out here. This is an amazing trip. It is still full stock interior and pretty much everything works. So that's something I wanted to focus on just because I'm a BMW nerd, and I kind of wanted this to be able to do longer trips and be comfortable inside, but still be super capable. So I spent a bunch of time notching everything around the cage so the headliner pieces are back in, try to jam everything in that way, make sure the shifter works, all that stuff is kind of stock console. I have the factory tap shift, like portion of the BMW shifter controlling the GM trans and everything. It took a little doing and like figuring out how to get those switches to work out correctly and be tucked in nicely. The transfer case, I didn't want a bunch of levers in the console, so it's all air shifted. So I've got a couple toggle switches for solenoids, and then I can air shift and do twin stick stuff with the 205, and then have the doubler on top of that. The AC should work. At the moment, it's not. We might play with that later, but not a high priority on this trip.
The second obstacle on this trail favored very careful but very different lines, and those in turn largely depended on the wheelbase of your rig. Now, clearance is always an issue as well, and some people had to resort to the skinny pedal in order to climb it. A few with more successful results than others. It's often a delicate balance of managing traction and clearance to get just the right combination to get you through.
So we're getting ready to winch on the back of Lonnie here. Evan's getting ready to hook up his winch and we're gonna pull him out. Hopefully it'll keep him from hitting his glass on this rock over here. Ready? Whoa, stop. We're not good. No, we're not. Coming up with our car.
That red taillight lens tape?
Yeah, we'll get a little tape on there. That thing will be factory fresh. Oh, it even got a hole in it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've never put a hole in a truck on a trail.
But just so you know, this is the opposite. Like that.
Here we go. Hard.
Alright, sidestep deleted.
We still got two more to cut off eventually.
I was hearing a clunk and I'm like, what is that? And so I dove under, and my drag link is kind of J-shaped, and so to keep it from flopping, we just kind of bound each tie rod end. They still have full motion when you do that, but it just keeps it from flopping. And one of the jam nuts loosened up, and it's kind of laying on the tie rod. So I'm just gonna grab a wrench and fix it real quick. 5-minute fix. All right, there she is.
So this is the end of Brandon's Boulders. Next, we're gonna be moving up the road and doing a trail called Backstage Pass. It's a fun loop. It'll take you up a canyon with some rocks and a couple ledges, and then you come on an access road at the top of the mountain, and we drop back down another canyon that'll lead back to this road. It's a lot of fun. You get to go up some rocks, you get to come down some rocks. Should be another good time.
After something of a warm-up on Brandon's Boulders, Backstage Pass ups the technical difficulty. The tricky part in negotiating this kind of terrain is picking a line for your rig that works through the whole obstacle field, not just a little part of it. As the rock obstacles get larger, pointier, and thicker, it's easy to find yourself starting a line that's easy in the onset, but that quickly leaves you nowhere to go without incurring severe sheet metal damage or maybe poking holes in vulnerable undercarriage components.
Tell you what I think about these Milestar tires. I can't believe I didn't just pop a couple of them. Man, these things have amazing sidewalls in it. And this is pretty gnarly. It's always rad to go down waterfalls versus up. You know, it's just a different level of excitement for sure.
Elevation is always a key element to a good rock crawling trail. Most of the time, you're climbing, but that's not to say always. The back half is a pretty tricky downhill section that requires careful tire placement and constant attention to avoid the gotchas.
This is an epic trail. If you ain't been here, you should come on by. I'm not exactly sure where I am either, though, just so you know.
that good enough for you? Am I here for your amusement? You think I'm funny, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, I went to check on the S120 and my rig's driving itself all of a sudden.
You left it unattended.
Cruising. This is a good one. This is a good rock crawling canyon.
So the 14 bolt kind of on that rock back there, and Kenny didn't want to back up and risk, dropping it down on the drive shaft. So we decided to just pull a winch cable and hook up to Sam and keep on going the wheel. That way we don't have to replace the drive shaft. We got him out.
Chris Durham, you got a copy? Steering gearbox bracket just broke in two. I'm gonna take it off and run it down there to you, then we can weld it up.
What's it on?
It's on my CJ, but it's an old cast type bracket.
Better to tack it in place, or is it something that will be straight enough when you get it back?
Should be straight enough. I don't know if you could get it. Well, I mean, you could come back up here, but I'd hate for you to do all that and then take it off and bring it to you.
Keith, I am at the end of the trail now. According to Vern, I can just circle that back around and behind you.
Okay.
Well, come on.
Oh, there's a weld.
The key to the bait, Cat.
So it's been cracked. It's this and then it was this.
Anybody else?
Well, everybody's help, and it went smooth, got it together. Hopefully make it down the rest of this wash and call it a day.
Brandon, you gonna try the waterfall?
I think so. I'd like to look at it, but I love waterfalls. Who doesn't? So we'll probably give her a go.
As we approach the exit to Backstage Pass, those wanting to can peel off to the left for the optional Backstage Extreme Loop. It's an obstacle-strewn off-camber climb that brings you up the narrow canyon, then, after a hairpin right turn, brings you right back down and deposits you neatly on the exit road of Backstage Pass.
So we just finished off this trail and now we're gonna head back on the main road and cross the Rio Grande, go through some chili fields, some cotton and pecan fields as well, and then back to camp.
Now, rather than just hopping on the interstate, we opted for a more creative route via a wide arroyo that clearly sees a lot of water during a storm. Now, that in turn led to a culvert under the interstate. And hey, let's face it, if you can cross under an interstate and a culvert versus a road, which would you rather do? From there, it was a quick tour of some chili fields, a crossing of the famous Rio Grande, and then back to camp, all while the sun was still up. Getting back to camp before dark is a rare treat on a UA.
My ARB stopped working, so I'm going to open it up and see if it's the copper line or the O-rings. It's losing pressure, so it's not engaging. So I'm just going to open it up and see what I need to get shipped to the next hotel and get it back on the road functioning for the last 2 wheeling days.
It's running a little bit lean, and I keep richening up the computer and it's not doing any good. So I'm gonna pull this filter out, check the pump, check the other filter, and see if I don't have something going on here that's not supplying the engine the way it's supposed to. It wasn't the filter. The filter is very clean, so it could be a pump going bad or the computer. Might go ahead and check the computer and see what it's running real quick. We put a new air filter in it last night and it started running lean.
We went through just a little bit of dust today, and my air filter looked like a big clod of dust. Yeah, so this year I hate it, but I'm having to cut it short this year. I've got a senior in high school. He's got 2 football games, and they don't play with so many, so I want to make sure I'm there for all of his football games and kind of support him. So I'm pulling out tomorrow. Fred Williams, another good friend of ours, is flying into Albuquerque tomorrow. He had a wedding, another good friend up in Canada this weekend, so it just luckily worked out, so our kind of stars align and paths cross. So I'm going to pull up to the airport to passenger drop off and throw my junk out. Fred's going to get in my rig, and he's going to catch up with the group. He's going to wheel it the rest of the week, and then a buddy of mine, Keith's going to haul it back to Alabama. So it all worked out good, so I can catch the first half and Fred can catch the second half. So all good.
I'm doing some arts and crafts here. This is all cut and refinagled around to fit a 40. As you might imagine, it didn't fit originally. So there's some panel bond here that, didn't work as good as zip ties are about to. So, just hanging out in camp, drinking a couple beers, posting zip ties, making it look like a thing again. I don't know. I played with ratchet straps to try to make it into a square, and then I put a vacuum pump on it, and then more ratchet straps, and kind of finagled it so it fits back here with the seats up so we can put our stuff in front of it, and the spare's not going to jam into us or flop over if we, hit a gnarly obstacle. And on top of that, I didn't want it on the roof because all that weight up there makes it handle like an elephant, and it's just kind of not a ton of fun. So, it seemed like a great idea until I was super sweaty in the driveway trying to make the spare tire fit in here, but right now I'm pretty happy with it.
Dave's got this plastic car. You can't stick your beer anywhere. Oh, there we go.
Found some metal. So you're really leaving us, huh?
Yeah, I hate to, man. Now Wednesday's here, I'm like, man.
You're just getting good, too.
I know it.
Like, you didn't hit every rock on the trail today.
No, I honestly think I got a podium finish today.
They're giving trophies for 4th now?
No, I think I'm not going to say I was first, but I think I am on the podium.
Huh. My day was awesome. We went rock crawling in New Mexico, which I don't know that I've ever done before. Got to go run some gnarly trails and big rocks and waterfall-y things, and Jeep dominated, except my battery kept falling apart, so I'm working on it a little bit. It was a good day. A lot of sun, a lot of dust, a lot of good rock crawling. Tomorrow we just got to drive on a bunch of boring old asphalt. Lame. But I'm sure Trent has something cool lined up, not just that. Not just the tarmac, as they would say in other countries.
The only reason I knew it, my ARB stopped working and it was leaking. And I'm assuming it's leaking where that 2 pinched it right there. I just want to make sure.
Okay.
It's not leaking somewhere else. I'm going to kick it on for a second.
You bet your bottom dollar it is.
So I need a ring and pinion and a New copper repair tube.
Coupler. Well, yeah.
They make a repair kit for it too, or an old coupler. Either way, whatever I can find. I broke my bulkhead off about 3 years ago, and it sucked it to the copper end. And that was on back order. So I just got the repair kit, and I sweated it out and sweated a new one in.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
did you show this to like Durham? I've never seen. I've never seen one tooth break off.
I've got. Those are factory Cuckby. Here, that's a factory.
456s for Cuckby.
Factory. It's just one tooth and a couple sliblers.
I didn't even know any of this was going on. I came over here and I was like, you had the wheel off, so I was like, what did he break? And
that I was just had a big split in the tire. It was super gluey.
So what is this? What are you doing? This is a water cannon. It's full of like 6 balloons.
Who's your first target?
But I need to, I got to find something that has more than 110 PSI, and I haven't found any yet. Well, Jeff did, but we can't connect them. So we go over to the BMW to their crew and shoot them back this way with them. Right?
Yep. Oh yeah, locked.
We're going to shoot the Carols.
The compressor will shut off when it's full, so.
But it doesn't.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
so it's going to be about 110.
Okay.
So, ready? Oh, that just landed.
Your gun fell apart, dude.
No, I'm supposed to hold it because we can't get it in. This is my extension for long range. Okay. So I put it on, and I forgot to hold this. I was holding the bottom part.
Okay.
Silly me. Bam. This time I'll hold it. I shot it out too high. But ready?
Yep.
Oh, it exploded.
For the first time this week, the group was back and relaxing at camp in the daylight, which meant more time to look over rigs, fix issues, relax, and even hang out with other participants. Spirits are high, which is exactly what we like to see. But hopefully no one gets too carried away, as in front of us is the longest road day of the trip at over 400 miles. Now there's some awesome dirt sections, a very unusual stop involving space exploration, and even an off-the-beaten-path cool stop helped made famous by one of our own in years past. Now that's it for this episode, so be sure to check out our other videos and hit that subscribe button while you're here. We're not quite halfway through this unreal adventure, and you're not going to want to miss what's around the next bend.